Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Good evening again. Tonight we are learning more about a fire near downtown Hyden. We are told the health department received some damage. Here is video a viewer sent in to us. The flames did destroy 2 homes and damaged another. It sounds like everyone made it out of those houses safely. WYMT's Connor James joins us live now with the breaking details. Connor, what can you tell us?
So I do want to preface, we are away from the scene because of that lack of service. We've moved up the road a little bit, about 10 minutes away from where the fire happened. It happened downtown along Hickory Street, and we do know that all 6 volunteer fire departments in Leslie County, along with Hazards Fire Department and then the Avawam Volunteer Fire Department, they all responded as well. One house is completely gone. A whole family lived there. Their parents lived next door. Their garage was burned down almost completely, but the majority of their house is still there. Thankfully, it does have quite a bit of smoke damage. A third house was damaged. Thankfully, that was mostly exterior damage. And like you mentioned, the health department received some damage with some of the shingles melting in the back and some of the smoke blowing, causing a little bit of damage there as well. Now, we did talk with one volunteer firefighter for the Thousand Sticks Volunteer Fire Department, who is one of the first on the scene, about what happened here today.
I mean, I'm not going to speculate, but, you know, it's still too early for that. We're just staying on the scene until the hot spots are out.
Now, Will, thankfully, this is one of those situations that does have a little bit of a silver lining. In talking with the volunteer fire department and some of those on the scene, we did learn that the families do have insurance for this sort of thing. And in addition to that, a volunteer for the Red Cross lives just a couple houses down. He was able to be there to help, and the firefighters all were able to respond pretty quickly because a good chunk of them were actually at the Hazard Community and Technical College campus here doing some training actually to how to handle fires, So really a lot of things played to the people's advantage here. Although one home was destroyed, one badly damaged, the other 2 buildings will be okay.
All righty, Connor, thank you. Live in Leslie County is tonight. Connor, thanks again. Meanwhile, the man accused of shooting a Leslie County deputy over the weekend is behind bars tonight. Police booked William Mosley into the Leslie County Detention Center early this morning. Here's a picture of him. Mosley faces first-degree assault and wanton endangerment charges, among others. State police say he shot Deputy Shane Wilson in the hand last weekend. Investigators say he also gave him a false name. Joseph Lawson and Tyler France were also arrested after the shooting happened. Both remain in the jail at this time. Currently, they do not face charges related to the shooting. Now we head to a developing story near the Perry County-Knott County line. A rock slide closed Kentucky 15 today for hours. While crews do have the road cleared now, thousands of people remain without water this evening. WYMT's Emily Bennett joins us now with the latest there. Emily?
Well, around 1 this afternoon, rocks came sliding off this cliff here behind me, completely blocking Kentucky 15 here in Knott County. Now, Knott County Sewer and Water said that they actually noticed that they were losing water. And then that is when the highway department called them to say the rock slide broke their water line. They shut the water off as quickly as possible, but they lost about 600,000 gallons of water. Now, the general manager says more than 5,000 homes are affected and more than 15,000 people.
This is our main connection line to Letcher County. We serve the majority of Letcher County with wholesale customer, and then about half of Knott County also. If we can get it fixed in time, our tanks should keep the majority of those people in water.
Now, Will, as you said, the road is back open, but please be careful if you're driving through here. There is a lot of mud and dirt still on the road, and it's looking like water crews are starting to show up to fix the line. We will be updating you on that in the future. I'm live in Knott County. Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
All righty, Emily, thank you. Well, today we learned 1 week from Monday, a retrial will begin in a Floyd County murder case. A few years ago, the Kentucky Supreme Court ordered a new trial for Barry Hall. In 2012, a jury convicted him for the shooting deaths of Alan Tackett and his wife, Lisa. The state's high court ruled pictures used during the trial were not needed. Well, prosecutors will seek the death penalty in a hazard murder. They filed paperwork to try it as a capital punishment case today. Police say Anthony Lewis killed Marlena Holland Hurt last year. In July, they say he beat and stabbed, leaving her dead in Bobby Davis Park. A trial date is set for 1 month from tomorrow. In Laurel County, a man is accused of stealing trailer tires from a business. Deputies say Robert Chadwell entered a business on Highway 229. While it was closed, they say he stole 8 trailer tires. He is charged with burglary.
And it was a gorgeous day here in the mountains, and that doesn't look to continue long as more clouds are expected as we head into tomorrow. We'll go ahead and take you to a few of those cameras. National Weather Service camera in Jackson showing sunshine throughout the day, and then that gorgeous sunset with a few clouds starting to creep back into the area. Looking over into Whitesburg right now, you're seeing kind of those clear skies, temperatures near 44 degrees, so a little bit on the cooler side, and all of us into about those lower 40s now, some into the upper 30s. If you're looking up into Moorhead, Ashland, and even over there into parts of Lexington. Compared to this time yesterday, check it out, over 20 degrees cooler than we were at this time yesterday. If you remember, we were in about short sleeve shirts yesterday. It felt great. Now definitely on the chilly side. Compared to the past couple of days, we've been well above average. Average high is 43 for this time of year. We'll be close to that high tomorrow, but after that, we're going to see a pretty big cool down as we head into the second half of the weekend. I'll have those details coming up in just a little bit.
All righty. Thank you, Paige. Well, the Whitley County Sheriff's Office served a writ of possession at the Sagebrush Steakhouse in Corbin. Just yesterday, employees of the steakhouse reached out to our newsroom claiming they went to work only to find a padlock and chain on the front door. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to one employee who is searching for answers.
Jesse Robinson is going through a tough time at home.
I'm trying to get on my feet and trying to get my own place because I'm currently getting a divorce and I got 3 kids and me and her split the kids.
Which means for the time being he is living with his mom.
I don't know, it's hard. I don't want to be a failure. I'm a person that's trying to be a good father, and I don't know. I feel like I'm failing them.
Now storms have hit his work life too. On Wednesday, he went for a normal day of work at Sagebrush Steakhouse in Corbin, only to find a chain and padlock on the front door.
I was like, what's going on? Did somebody get hurt? Did something happen the night before? Did something majorly happen? Did they get robbed?
Jesse and several of his co-workers have the same questions. We had them too. When we tried to get answers, this is the sound we got.
Sorry, your call did not go through. Please try your call later.
In Corbin, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, we reached out multiple times to Sagebrush Steakhouse administration. They did not return our calls and have not sent out any statements. Well, Kentucky's Senate president is predicting lawyers will try to modify the pardon process. It's in response to a lot of blowback to former Governor Matt Bevin's last-minute pardons and commutations. They include people convicted of murder and rape. Now, Senate President Robert Stivers is suggesting there should be a pardons commission. The group would make recommendations to the governor. Lawyers have also introduced a few bills that would limit a governor's pardon powers. A short time ago, we received pictures of a Pike County teen at the White House. Emily Chaney met with President Trump today in the Oval Office. This is really cool. Take a look at her pictures. This was all part of new rules that the president says would make sure religious student organizations are given equal access to public school facilities, and states would be required to notify the Education Department of violations. You might remember Emily. She is a sophomore at East Ridge High School who made headlines with her classmates last year when one organization called on them to remove a prayer locker at the high school. Well, firefighters in Rockcastle County have responded to 3 fires this month, all on the same street. Investigators say they're likely connected. Olivia Russell talked to neighbors who say they're worried their homes could be next.
It just scares me because this was my home.
A teenage girl watched as her childhood home burnt.
There's insulation coming out of the ceiling, the walls, and everything's burnt.
It was the 3rd trailer fire on Davis Street in just a couple of weeks. The first happened on January 2nd, then another on the 8th, and the most recent was the 15th. Mount Vernon police say it was arson.
Yeah, there's no coincidence. I believe it's related. I believe all three of them are related.
Police are now trying to track down the person responsible. Chief Brian Carter says at least one of the victims got a message through a texting app saying you're next. Carter says tracing that number isn't easy.
Very difficult. It's hard to trace texting apps. We're looking into everything. We've had several different stories. Several different people tell us several different things, and we're looking into everything right now.
People who live on the street hope police act fast.
Because, a lot of us are afraid for our lives.
They say they're looking out for each other because they're worried their homes could be next.
A lot of us are afraid, it could be one of us next. And the fact that they've hit a trailer with a mother and daughter, it's ridiculous.
In Mount Vernon, Olivia Russell, WKYT.
Police say the first two trailers targeted were not occupied, but the third was. So far, they have not released any details about a possible suspect. The convention center, formerly known as the Lexington Center, is in the middle of a $275 million expansion. One more change. It's now the Central Bank Center, and the home of the UK basketball team will be known as Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center. The announcement was made at a news conference this morning. The deal is between Central Bank and JMI Sports, who controls naming and other media rights for the Lexington Center Corporation and UK. Central Bank will pay $1.5 million a year for 14 years for those naming rights. The athletic director at the University of Kentucky said that partnership allows them to honor Rupp while still growing their athletics programs. Those naming rights add $1.5 million a year onto their existing deal.
These things don't happen because everyone just snaps your fingers and you make them happen. There's got to be some financial principles to what you do and how you do that. That can't happen without good friends.
Meanwhile, the expansion project is expected to be finished in the spring of 2022. Well, more than 2.5 years ago, the University of Kentucky announced a name change at Commonwealth Stadium, renaming it Kroger Field. The agreement between Kroger and JMI Sports started at nearly $2 million annually for up to 12 years. At the time, athletic director Mitch Barnhart, who you just heard from, said the 15-year deal with JMI in 2014 gave the multimedia rights partner the ability to sell the naming rights to UK's athletic facility. In 2018, the city of Pikeville announced the 2D project to revitalize the look of its 2nd and Division streets. Now, the first phase of that is complete. Thanks to a $30,000 AARP Community Challenge grant, the plaza outside of the Appalachian Center for the Arts is officially open. The plaza provides unique seating that doubles as entertainment space. Main Street Director Minta Trimble says the progress of the 2D plan is a step forward for the city.
It can just blow up and be such a huge investment for anyone that wants to be a part of, things that's going to come, and realize that this city is making a big effort to make sure that we continue to be, a trendsetter.
Trimble says the grant, which was the largest awarded in the state, made the progress possible.
And we'll see more clouds as we head into tomorrow, and that's because rain arrives by Saturday. After that, we'll see very cold air move back into the mountains. I'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit.
Plus, in just a few short weeks, Whitley County native Nick Wilson will star in the 40th season of Survivor. Here what he told producers before the game started.